let's dive right into this. Welcome to this explainer, where we're going to unpack a seriously thrilling scientific mystery today. We're looking at a bizarre cosmic anomaly, basically, a massive structural flaw in a giant planet's magnetic field. But here's the crazy part. It actually leads to a massive revelation about the search for extraterrestrial life in our universe. If you think magnetic fields are just, dry physics, prepare to have your mind blown. Because we're essentially looking at a giant neon sign pointing straight toward a hidden ocean.
Now, to really appreciate just how weird this anomaly is, we need a baseline. So let's start with a stark contrast. Here on Earth, we sit pretty comfortably inside a relatively round, perfectly symmetrical magnetic bubble. It does a fantastic job protecting us, and it's almost perfectly aligned with our planet's axis of rotation. It behaves exactly like you'd expect a planetary magnetic field to behave. But Saturn's magnetic field? It is remarkably messy. It's completely unstructured, highly misaligned, and it's been making scientists scratch their heads for years.
The difference is honestly night and day. On Earth, we have this beautifully neat, structured noon cusp that aligns perfectly. But Saturn's magnetosphere is wildly stretched out. It's totally lopsided and visibly distorted. It isn't a neat little bubble at all. It's this warped, right-shifted field that's completely off-center. So the big question is, why?
Section 1. Cassini's Revelations.
To figure out what was going on with this wonky magnetic field, an international team of scientists basically had to act as cosmic detectives. And what's really amazing here is the sheer volume of effort this took. They analyzed rigorous data from 2 different instruments aboard the Cassini spacecraft. They didn't just look once or twice, they combed through data from 67 distinct passes through a very specific region of Saturn. And this was over a 6-year period from 2004 to 2010. They needed all that data just to build an accurate global model of Saturn's magnetic field.
So what were they targeting during those 67 passes? Something called the cusp. If you aren't familiar with the term, the cusp is the exact location, the entry point, where a planet's magnetic field lines literally dive straight down toward the poles. Think of it like a giant funnel that channels charged particles from the solar wind right into the planet's atmosphere. Pinpointing that exact spot is absolutely critical if you want to understand the architecture of a magnetic field.
And here is the big aha moment. The data from those 67 passes revealed something totally unexpected. The researchers observed with absolute clarity that Saturn's cusp is entirely misaligned with its rotation axis. Like, if you're looking at Saturn from the perspective of the Sun, this funnel for the magnetic field lines is systematically shifted way over to the right. We aren't talking about a minor little wobble here, it is a permanent structural offset.
Section 2. Fast rotation and geysers. Now that we have definitively identified the anomaly, let's look at the 2 primary culprits causing this huge distortion. The first one is speed. Saturn is spinning at a dizzying pace for a gas giant planet. It completes a full rotation in just over 10 hours. That is incredibly fast for something so massive. The second culprit is its environment. Saturn isn't just spinning in empty, pristine space. It's swimming in a super dense bath of ionized gas or plasma. And a huge chunk of this charged plasma is being pumped directly into space by the giant geysers erupting from Saturn's icy moon Enceladus.
It's really the combination of these 2 factors that makes the magic happen. You take that incredibly rapid spinning, mix it with that heavy, charged plasma environment, and it physically stretches and deforms Saturn's magnetic bubble into that lopsided, right-shifted shape we talked about. The mechanics are just fascinating. The sheer rotational force whipping that dense, ionized gas around fundamentally warps the magnetic structure of the entire planet.
Section 3. The Secret of Enceladus.
This brings us to a massive twist in our story. It actually turns what looks like a structural flaw into a glaring beacon pointing toward habitability. You see, those plumes of ionized gas, the ones powerful enough to warp a giant planet's magnetic field, are actually escaping from a vast, hidden ocean of liquid water trapped right beneath the icy crust of Enceladus. The moon is literally spraying its hidden ocean out into space, which creates that exact plasma bath Cassini detected.
Because of this hidden geyser erupting ocean, astrobiologists have drawn a massive conclusion. Enceladus is now considered among the absolute most promising places in our entire solar system to look for signs of habitability. It's such a compelling target that it's become a top priority destination for future space missions. I mean, think about it. The very thing warping Saturn's magnetic field is the water that might harbor life.
Section 4. Searching for life elsewhere.
The implications of this study, which was recently published in Nature Communications, reach far, far beyond just Saturn and its little icy moon. It gives us a brand new tool for exploration. We now have a profound new rule of thumb in astrophysics. We can establish a direct, observable link between the deformed shape of a gas giant's magnetosphere and the presence of a potentially habitable moon orbiting it. The interaction between the solar wind and a magnetosphere obeys fundamental rules. That means the mechanics we've found at Saturn can likely be transposed to totally different planets. Basically, a wonky magnetic field is a massive clue.
So, as we wrap up this explainer, I want to leave you with this final, provocative thought. This study gives us a brilliant reference point, not just for our own solar neighborhood, but for the entire cosmos. If a lopsided, deformed magnetic field is the definitive fingerprint of a life-supporting, water-spewing ocean right here in our solar system, just imagine what we might discover by looking at the distorted magnetic fields around distant gas giants and exoplanets orbiting alien stars. The clues defining extraterrestrial life might just be written in the invisible, stretched-out magnetic bubbles scattered across the galaxy. Thanks so much for joining me on this explainer, and as always, keep your eyes on the stars.